lesson 1 dash, whoops, let's catch up there, 1-5 on subtracting integers. So yesterday or the previous lesson we did adding. Now we're subtracting. There's a couple different rules with subtracting, but nothing too crazy. So let's start off with something a little bit basic. All right, we have -7 minus 7. Now, students are very quick to go, oh, 0. Well, not really, because remember our red-blue rule? Our rule, we would say we need 7 reds here. Oh, and this one's also negative, so that's 7 reds here. Remember when you have the same color, we add them together. 7 and 7 is going to give me 14. And because they're all red, I know my answer is going to be negative. All right? Think of money again. You owe me $7, and now you owe me another $7. So how much grand total? You owe me $14. So this is your final answer here. Okay, let's try another one. All right, what if we have this one? We have 2 subtract a -4. All right, well, the first thing I want you to do is kick out these parentheses. Okay, parentheses sometimes makes us think of multiplication. So I'm going to rewrite this just without the parentheses. But holy cow, look at that. I got 2 negatives next to each other. Well, as I taught you in class, we're going to circle and change that to one big positive. Whenever you have 2 negatives side by side like that, they become a positive number. So if I were to rewrite this so it looks a little bit more normal, I would quickly notice that this is back to first grade math. This crazy problem here wound up looking very normal all of a sudden just because of a simple rule that the 2 negatives became a positive. 2 plus 4, as we all know, is 6. And 6 is my final answer. All right. How are we doing so far? Hopefully good, right? Okay, let's try another one. All right. I'm going to throw an absolute value in there. We shouldn't be scared of absolute values. Absolute values are our friends. So I'm going to do 6 minus t, absolute value, plus 5. And I'm going to tell you that t equals -4. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is just a normal swap out. Keep the absolute value. Keep the 6. Keep the subtraction. Instead of t, I'm now going to make it -4. -4. Notice, I have to keep the first subtraction symbol. You can't just kick that one out. Okay, absolute value, +5. Now, as you remember, what do I do when I have 2 negatives touching or side by side? I circle them and change them into one big positive. So let me rewrite this. Absolute value, 6 plus 4, absolute value, +5 or +5, whatever you want to call it. Okay, solve inside here. Absolute value, 6 plus 4 gives me 10. Absolute value, +5. Okay, now I need to pull that 10 out of the absolute value bars. When I pull that 10 out of absolute value, it is going to be +10. Because remember, anything coming out of absolute value bars is positive. And I'm going to keep my +5. Now I have 10 plus 5, as we all know, is 15. And that is my final answer. Okay, real quick. Substitute back in. Okay. Circle and change those 2 negatives into one big positive. Solve what's inside the absolute value, keeping the bars all the way down. You can't just kick out the bars until you go to pull a single number out of the bars. This being a single number. This is an equation. Okay? Difference. When I go to pull this out of the absolute value bars to get rid of the bars, that's when I get my positive number. Because anything coming out of absolute value bars is going to be positive. And then I just continue with what the problem was originally, adding that 5 in there to get my final answer of 10 plus 5 being 15. Okay? Let me try one more. All right, this last one here, we're going to do a 3-digit one. We have -13 minus 7 plus a negative 6. All right. First thing I'm going to do is kick out this positive and these parentheses because I don't like them. They are not pretty. So I'm going to do negative 13 minus 7, kicking out this, kicking out these parentheses. I just bring down the negative 6. All right. Now, let me go back to my dots because some of you might like the dots. Some of you might think of money. You owe me 13, you owe me 7, and you owe me 6. What's your grand total? Okay, well, let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, they're all red because my 13 here is negative. Remember, red equals negative. Well, I also have a negative 7 and I also have a negative 6. So all of my dots are going to be red. Here goes 7. All right, and then here goes 6. When they're all the same color, we add them together, okay? When they're different colors, you cancel them out. You do 1 for 1. But since these are all the same color, I'm going to add them up. And I would wind up with 26 dots total. But remember, what does my red dots equal? They equal all of my negative numbers. So my answer has to be negative. If you want to think of money, you owe me a grand total of $26. Okay, let's just say on Monday, you borrowed 13 from me. Tuesday, you borrowed 7. Wednesday, you borrowed 6. Well, you keep borrowing money from me, you're running up quite a tab. Your tab now is $26 you owe me. All right, guys, I hope this helped for your homework.